Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1301, 1301. Here we are into the 1300 series, and it is Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valleymont. I have an interesting story about Podcastro Valleymont I will tell you about a little bit later on the segment Mike's Scavenger Hunt. Plus, we will hear from John Deere the Engineer, Floyd the Floorman, and Chely Shoehart.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And it was a visit to the vet for Basil the Boxer and I yesterday.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Well, it was, what do you call it? When you go to the vet, there's information that you're trying to get, but they give you what? Maybe 10 minutes tops, and then you pay the bill and you go, what the heck? I just wanted answers to my questions, and
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I got 10 minutes of me telling you stuff, and then you telling me nothing? Well, Mike, we have to run tests
Daily
to see what's wrong
Podcast
with your dog.
Yeah!
My dog, if you didn't catch the last show, has big puffy eyelids right now. It's the third eyelid. Boxers have that, a third eyelid, and they puff up. Well, I did find out some interesting things, and that is, this happens when a dog is sick. It has something to do with, them not feeling well in their stomach, which is basically, I could have extrapolated that without paying the $300 that I ended up having to pay, which actually, I didn't have to pay for the office visit, which was nice. The other vet, my old vet I was going to go to, I was going to have to pay $60 for that. But just coming in, that was free, that was waived, I had a coupon. But, all the tests they do, it's like $60 a pop, and then that's where they get you. So that was over $300. But they ran tests on Basil, and all the stuff had to be sent off to the lab, not the Labrador. That would have fit perfectly right here in my dog story. That it was sent off to a Labrador to check it, but no, it was off to a lab, and they'll check all the samples and find out what's up with him. So we'll finally have an answer today, and then I'll know what to do. But I will say, oh, look who walked in, that some good developments happened in that Basil started eating kibble again, and that he this morning he woke me up at 2 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, great, he needs to go outside to throw up. Which is something great about my dog. It's like he knows, don't throw up in the house, we go outside. And even though going from my bedroom to the back door to go outside is kind of a walk, you have to go to the length of the house, and I have such a big mansion. It's such a huge, big mansion, and I am tended to by my servants who wipe the pizza stains off of my face. I am a big deal.
Kind of a big deal.
And they do that. Thank you for wiping my face clean. And so so Basil's so courteous. And his army of women fans, the army of, look who else walked in, dog owners that I've told about Basil that are huge Basil fans, I texted them all as soon as I got the information that his lymph nodes were not swollen. So that was a good sign. And everybody texting me back words of encouragement, and I'm so thankful to all of them. They've helped me through this so well. And Nick. Forgot Nick. Nick is a guy, obviously. I guess it could be a guy. Could be a woman's name. But Nick, he said the same thing happened to his dog, where the third eyelid of his dog's eyes got swollen up, and he said it went away within a week. But let's hope for the best for Basil. And as you know what, I think what I'm doing here in the end is I'm championing the people of this world that are courteous. I mean, Basil's not a people. He is kind of like a people to me, as dogs are, and they become family. But he's courteous. He's always been courteous to me. And, I didn't have to go, hey, and yell at my dog every 5 seconds like a lot of dog owners have to do. And, you go out to the dog parks and they're, stop! Oh. So when I was married, my ex-wife's dad could not frickin' train his dogs. He had this big old boxer pit bull mix named Rudy, and we met them. We flew out from Alabama to Los Angeles, and they drove down from the Bay Area to Los Angeles to help us out. My dad had a house in LA, and when he passed away, there was probate and all that, and we had to go down and get... probate continued. We moved to Alabama because I had a job offer there, and it seemed like the thing to do. We moved out there, but there was still stuff to take care of with my dad's house. So we flew out to Alabama. They drove down, my ex-wife's parents, and they helped us out get all the stuff out of my dad's house. Oh, and there was a situation where I almost got ran over by a enormous garbage container, one of those ones, the big ones. I can't think of the name right now, but the really, really big one. And it was about to roll down a hill, and I was on the other side of it, and I basically, with Superman strength,
and here's today's podcast picture,
pushed it back up the hill. And then I remember I was waiting in the airport to fly back to Alabama, and they were telling me, the wonderful people at Cumulus were telling me, oh, Mike, you might get let go this week because we let someone else that you work with go, so you might be let go. By the way, you have all that stress, too, of dealing with your dad's stuff. Anyway, my ex-wife's dad...
Anyway.
We went to the dog park with their dog. It was up in the hills of Laurel Canyon. There in that area, there's a dog park. And the whole time, he's yelling at his dog, Rudy! Rudy! Like, top of his lungs. And I'm looking at all these people... and it's the Hollywood Hills, so you're expecting everyone around you has something to do with the show biz, and they're all looking at this big guy going, Rudy, at the top of his lungs. Memories. That was so I am never been much of a yeller, old yeller, at dogs. If they're not listening to you at your normal volume, they're not going to listen to you if you're screaming at them. I mean, sometimes you have to get their attention. I find that clapping, a loud clap, and a hey, if, Basil was about to walk out into the middle of a frickin' busy freeway, I would go, hey, and, clap my hands. Thank you, sir, for slowing down for Basil. And that's basically, how much time we killed practically 10 minutes there, so there was a lot to cover. I don't know what we covered. We covered dog parks. We covered Basil's doing better. We covered yelling at your dog. I guess this should have been a segment of the Word of Dog.
The Word of Dog.
Well, believe me, there's definitely going to be more of a segment of the Word of Dog if we do once I get the results from the test yesterday, I'm sure I will find out more about what's going on with Basil, and maybe I can pass along what I have learned from this whole ordeal to you. But yeah, yelling at your dog. If you do it all the time, to them that's normal volume, and you're not going to get their attention. It defeats the purpose of yelling. So think about that. Apply that to your normal life, or your abnormal life, whatever. Cafe, whatever. No, what I was saying was that...
Anyway.
There is this interesting thing I wanted to play. We haven't done the Daily Haley or Jarell in a long time. And I think now we need to fit that into the show somehow. Let's do it.
The Daily Haley. The almost Daily Haley. Jarell Name.
This was something that we did several months ago, and Haley found this recently and said, hey, do you remember this? And I heard it and I laughed. So it's really crazy, and Haley's doing the music behind Jarell and I speaking. So this is our little jazzy segment. I hope you enjoy it. And I'm probably going to get dinged by YouTube for, well, we get into that. It's coming up here.
That's true. You want to keep the water in the ground away from people, is what I'm saying.
Well, I just have to limit how much of it I actually use, and I could not let the water run for 3 hours.
That's right. You want to water your plants, not your head, is what I'm saying.
Well, the plants can survive by sharing nutrients with each other. I can't do that with humans.
Now, there's something else when those plants share nutrients. You know what I'm saying? We got to break it down.
Yeah, but more than likely...
Break it down.
But more than likely, some of them who do that are probably poisonous.
Oh. What? You mean they're killing each other? The plants are killing each other.
They have immunity to their particular toxins.
Oh. They don't have much pastrami. That's my favorite sandwich. Pastrami. How about you? Do you like the Italian combo?
I like pizza.
I've never had a pizza sandwich before. How do you make it?
I meant regular pizza. Jeremy corrected us over the talk back.
He talked back and he used an expletive.
Unfortunately, it's not PG-13, so we can't air it.
We'll have to air this on iTunes in the explicit.
Oh, wait, this is Mike's Daily Podcast, but we're still going to bleep it anyway.
We're going to bleep it anyway.
Oh, damn.
We dismissed some beautiful audio because it was not being recorded.
Well, this music is more than likely probably copyright anyway.
That's true. I'll get dinged by YouTube, and I hate that when that happens. Those Swedish people.
Give you a strike.
It's a bunch of Swedish people that sit there at YouTube going, I don't know. I don't think he's allowed to use this song.
And yet the only thing they really have to offer us is Volvo cars.
And chocolate.
Well, I ain't too big on chocolate myself. I'm more into donuts.
Oh, yeah, I don't think the Swiss make donuts.
Oh, well.
All right. Excellent. Now, if you want to hear all the past podcasts, go to MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and that's where you can also help out the show through Amazon, who's apparently just going through the roof with their stocks. That should have been one you invested in. Hi, I'm Bill Gunderson with the Best Stocks Now show.
Obamacare, although a lot of people would love to see it, it's not logistically possible.
No, it's not logistically possible because I'm Bill Gunderson. Also, Amazon, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Click on that Amazon link and bookmark that. Whenever you buy anything on Amazon, go through that. You can also donate through the PayPal. Just look for that big donate button, and you'll get a special personalized MP3 for thee from all the Cafe Anyway characters who they walked in and I didn't even recognize. Sorry, guys. Mike Matthews, I was like, so rude. We've been waiting here forever.
Yeah, Mike, because it's Floyd the Floorman.
And this is John Deere, the engineer. Shelley, how's Bob?
Bob's doing great. We're having a great time. We went and saw La La Land. It was great. I saw my former boyfriend, Ryan Gosling Jr.
Oh, I didn't know that you guys dated.
Yeah, I was on the show.
That's right. We had a podcast about that way back. The Wayback Machine. And that was a reference to the Peabody and Sherman movie. Oh, God. The one that Ty Burrell did was horrible. You got to go back to the old Jay Ward cartoons. Those were great. They actually hold up really well because the comedy is just so dry and right there. But the horrible 3D computer animation CGI crap one they did, ugh. Not a fan. And, as we continue, the segment called Mike's, what is it?
Mike's Absolutely Useless Review.
Brewmaster. Ginormous.
Yeah, I've been watching New Girl. Yeah, I admit it. It's on Netflix, so I've been watching it. And I don't know why. I guess Zooey Deschanel was pregnant and she had to leave the show for a little bit. They brought on Megan Fox because they considered, let's get someone else who's a brunette who's been in movies. And she is horrible. I cannot. So her character the whole time is just monotone. Everything she says is monotone, and she's a know-it-all. She's like everybody, I'm so hot. Everybody, I'm so smart. I'm so hot. That's her whole character. Is she plays up her hotness, and she's smart, and I guess she's also bisexual, and I don't know. There's just nothing. It seems like there's one note to Megan Fox. There's no highs and lows. It was just one thing. I watched 3 episodes of it last night, and then I said good night. I don't think I'll watch any more New Girl, but I know I will. The references, they're making all these references to a lot of Nick Cannon and Beyonce, and I know a couple songs by Beyonce. I don't think I know any by Nick Cannon. I know he was on some TV show with the people that have talent come on and embarrass themselves, and he was married to Mariah Carey, right? And had a baby with her. But I don't know. Cafe, I don't know. That's just my useless opinion.
Anyway.
Review. Cafe anyway. Okay, now let's get to the segment that we so lovingly call
Mike's Scavenger Hunt.
And now we return you to our regularly scheduled program with Mike Matthews.
Yesterday, a federal judge in Hawaii issued a sweeping freeze of President Trump's new executive order hours before it was almost there. It would have temporarily barred the issuance of new visas to citizens of 6 Muslim-majority countries and suspended the admission of new refugees.
Wrong.
In a blistering 43-page opinion, Derek K. Watson, he's a U.S. district judge, pointed to Trump's own comments and those of his close advisors as evidence that his order was meant to discriminate against Muslims and declared there was a, quote, strong likelihood of success that those suing would prove the directive violated the Constitution. Okay, I'm going to jump to a bunch of stories really quickly here. The other one was that Adele has a secret Twitter account. As for the reason she didn't want them to know, Adele admitted, I'm not allowed access to my own Twitter because I'm quite mouthy. I'm quite mouthy. I love her accent. And I say the wrong thing a lot of the time. So they took that away from her. So she has a secret Twitter for lurking and drunken tweeting. Yay. She's 28. And her new album called 28 just came out. No, it didn't. Oh my God. So they've made videos now. They know that that videos just auto roll on Facebook. So, or any social media, they just start to auto roll, and they know the sound is default mute on everything. So they do all this print that they're rolling the video and they throw this print on, so your eyes immediately start to read. So the first thing I see is it's the wedding dress that spans generations. And am I going to watch the rest of that video? No. Did what I just talked about make any sense? No. But I'm getting sick of all those videos that just have this font, this print, this script just rolling across because we are so force-fed as a nation. Force-fed everything. Because we just have to have it shoved in our face. California is a hotbed of happiness. According to a new Wallet Hub report in USA Today, the personal finance website released its 2017's happiest places to live this week, and the Golden State holds 13 of the report's top 20 cities, and one of them is the top spot. And that is why we are doing the Mike Scavenger Hunt, because I'm going to help you find it right now. What is the place? I guess I mentioned it earlier in the show, and I know I have a drum roll here. There it is. Top spot is the stinkiest place on earth today. It smells outside. Fremont, California. Yes, Fremont. Where the longest lights The signals here last forever. The lights, you have to wait forever for them to turn green. The San Francisco suburb by Lake Elizabeth, which I've posted many a podcast picture of. Oh, I should have posted one of those today. But instead, I had the picture, and I just let that go, didn't I? I didn't even tell you what the podcast picture was. Today, the podcast picture is of a beach in Bodega Bay, or near Bodega Bay, Northern California. Oh, the cliffs and the ocean, and it's a neat little picturesque spot along Northern California's coast. I guess I should have put Lake Elizabeth, but I've done that before. I know I'll do it again. But the San Francisco suburb is home to parks, high-rated schools, and low crime rates. Really? Is that why I heard the sirens screaming as I came to work at 5 in the morning? Fremont also has the lowest separation and divorce rate. That's because a lot of people live here that come from cultures where divorce is not allowed. Doesn't say that in this article, but 2.7 times lower than Detroit, according to the study. 3 California cities follow close behind. That would be San Jose, which is just a few minutes south of here. Irvine, which is many, many hours south of here. And San Francisco, which is just about an hour north of here, northwest. Depending on traffic, could be less, could be more. With Sioux Falls, South Dakota, getting South Dakota on the charts at number 5. All right, and then American bees are an endangered species for the first time in U.S. history. Yes, that's true, and possibly also for the first time in history, their savior may be a cereal company. Yes, Cheerios that has that bee on it has launched a program to save a species of American bees. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service added the rusty-patched bumblebee to the endangered species list back in January, following a sharp decline in bee sightings within the 28 states and Canadian provinces where they predominantly reside. The decreasing amount of bee life in the state sparked Cheerios' crusade to help restore bee populations using their Honey Nut Cheerios mascot, Buzz. The company announced that on Monday they are going to have 100 million wildflower seeds planted across the country. By offering to send wildflower seeds to people for free, wildflowers are rich in nectar and pollen, which provide food and nutrients crucial to the bees' survival. And they could help increase bee populations across the country. Finally, here's a tale as old as time. Disney has announced that it is, and this is according to Refinery 29, it is indefinitely pulling Beauty and the Beast from movie theaters in Malaysia over demands from censors there to cut a scene that suggests Gaston's sidekick, LeFou, played by Josh Gad, is gay. It is now unclear if the film will be released in the country where taking part in homosexual activities is illegal. The film has not been and will not be cut for Malaysia, Disney said in a statement. Earlier in the week, Malaysia's Film Censorship Board stated that it would give the film a PG-13 rating and approve its release provided the scene, which runs about 4 minutes long, that's it, was removed from the film. Director Bill Condon has described the scene in which LeFou dances with another man as an exclusively gay moment, which Gad has called it subtle. The Josh Gad was on New Girl, by the way. I should point that out. As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring in Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley, he played a character named Bear Claw, and he sang a lot, and that's kind of what he does. He's known as a singer. He got really popular with the big musical, The Book of Mormon. That's right. And other stuff. So that's the end of the show. I would like to thank you for listening to the entirety of it. Next show, it will be Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're sending that segment straight to the Smithsonian Institute.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!